Amazing event here at the 2025 Lancaster Archery Classic. The Lancaster Archery Supply truck ends up being right in the middle of the shooting area, and you can come here and get all the stuff you left at home, or maybe even some stuff that you want. We're at the Spooky Nook Sports Complex here in Manheim, Pennsylvania. I'm Greg White, sitting next to Dan Yazza, and our shoot-up finals are getting ready to get underway for the Women's Masters Open category. Shoot-up finals, what's that all about? Well, Dan, tell us a little bit about what the shoot-ups are about.
All right, so we start the week with a 60 arrow qualifying match, and then we go into eliminations where you're going to shoot 12 arrows against an opponent, which brings you to the shoot-up. They rank you based on your total cumulative arrow count. Top 4 qualify. The ranking is ties are broken by 11s. It's a bottom-up format, so if number 4 shoots against number 3, whoever wins that shoots against number 2, all the way up to number 1.
And the target is 20 yards, 18 meters downrange, but we add a 12 ring to these finals. Tell us.
So typically on a 40-centimeter face, you do not have the little white dot. Lancaster Archery Supply is thrown in a little white 1.5-centimeter dot. It's worth 12 points. You get to shoot that once per end, and you have to call it.
And we have an exciting matchup for you. The top 4 have qualified, and now let's get to Casey Koffel, who's going to introduce our archers to the field of play.
All right, crowd, our next division is Women's Masters Open. We have our 4th seed coming in, Laurie Irvine from Tyrone, PA, and she is the PA State Champion. Let's give her a big round of applause. Coming in next is Cathy Miller from Hallsopple, PA. She is also a PA State Champion. Let's give her a big hand.
Well, Dan, I think you'd be shocked to find out that the #1 state in terms of registration is Pennsylvania.
I can't even imagine why.
I know. I think number 2 is New York, but of course it's going to be from this region. It's easy to get to, and it's a good central location here on the East Coast, as we had plenty of people come from all over the United States and Europe and beyond.
Yeah, so we're looking here. Laurie qualified with a 6:09 and Cathy qualified with a 6:01. But as we were talking about before, with the way this format works, every arrow you shoot counts for something. So even though Cathy shot a 6:01, 8 points behind Laurie, she is the higher seeded archer because she shot better during the elimination matches.
Gotcha. All right, here we go. We're getting right to it. Number 4 versus number 3 to shoot up, to shoot against the number 2. 4 ends cumulative scoring. Every point matters. What a start.
Didn't see any nerves there in that first shot.
Absolutely not. Just get after it. A little high right. And this is an amateur class, so for these women that are over 50 years old competing in this category, it's called the Women's Masters Open category. Anyone can register and shoot as long as you meet the age requirement and you have a compound bow.
Nice shot there. Looking at their resumes here, both of them are from Pennsylvania and both of them are PSAA state champions. I wonder how long these two have been shooting against one another.
Yeah, really. Now, one of the interesting things that happens as you get older is your dominant eye can switch depending on your eyesight and how it ends up changing over time. And there's a lot of different choices. You can see both of these ladies will actually close their close their eye to get a better sight picture.
All right.
But here's Casey Koffel.
How does it feel being up on the classic stage here?
It's always been my dream, so it finally came true today.
Well, welcome. We're happy for you. Tell me a little bit about the bow you're shooting here today.
Well, it's a Hoyt Prevail, and basically he puts everything on the bow, and I just shoot it.
There you go. Well, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what you're shooting then.
I'm scared enough. I don't know either. Pro blade release or rest. Like I said, I'm nervous too.
No, that's all right. Hey, that's what this whole shindig is for.
Tony Tazza from our archery zone puts all our stuff on. He's our worker.
Awesome.
I just tell him what to put on.
There we go. All right. Well, after our first end, we have Laurie with 29 and Cathy with 31.
I guess you can see the nerves don't just affect the shooters. Your coaches are a little nervous too.
He probably said, "Yeah, of course I'll be in your coach's box." You know, like, and then like, "You don't have to talk." "No, I don't have to talk." And then boom, Casey sticks a mic in his face. He's like, "Oh, come on, man." And that does happen. You know, that some people, you have the extreme. Some people like to dig into all their equipment, know everything that's on there, remember everything. And other people are like, "Put something in my hand that works, and I'll just shoot it."
Cathy had a great start there with 11-11-9, gave her a 2-point advantage going in here. Laurie starts off with an 8, or 9, excuse me.
9. Yeah, look at those 11s that she shot. Drop away rest, you can see when she pulls the bow back, the arrow rises up to the spot where it's going to be.
And then as she shoots, that rest falls out of the way, no contact. You can basically shoot whatever kind of fletching configuration you want to. And Cathy's got a 2-finger hinge release she's shooting. A little shaky there.
11.
And she still hits at 11. Nice recovery there.
Yeah. The crowd's watching the big screen too, and they saw that happen. Great recovery. Got a 4 fingers. Is the first 4-finger we've seen?
I think so.
9.
So it gives her 28 points for this end.
10.
10, get a 3, get a 2-point advantage on this end, and we're at 4 points total.
Back down to Casey.
Laurie, how are you doing today?
Good.
Is this your first time on the classic stage?
Yes.
Well, welcome. Tell me a little bit about your bow here.
I have a Hoyt Stratus with a Conquest stabilizer, B-line strings, and archery double vision sight.
And how about your arrows and strings?
B-line strings and Easton arrows.
Very nice. Well, you're shooting it well. Now, you said it's always been a dream of yours to be on the stage at the Classic, but how many Classics have you been to?
I was here the last 3 years, and then I shot a long time ago.
Very nice. Well, congratulations on making it to the stage. After 2 ends, we have Laurie with 57 points and Cathy with 61.
All right, Greg, we were talking about the Lancaster trailer being here. What did you forget at home you had to go buy?
Nothing.
Oh, I don't believe it.
Nothing.
Oh, my gosh.
There's a couple new things I want to get. But this is probably the first time in a long time, because normally I just leave, I purposefully leave stuff at home so I can go hang out at the trailer.
There you go.
And spend dough. But, you know, tip of the cap to my mom. I got a lot of Lancaster Archery Supply gift cards for Christmas. So it's burning a hole in my pocket. If you're just tuning in, especially to archery for the first time, and you're looking at that score, why is there an asterisk next to that number? That is just our crew that spots it. It's not the official score. So if there's a score in question, they'll actually put the lower value, and the asterisk means that it's probably the higher value. And we'll know once the judges get downrange and have a real good look at it.
So Cathy coming on strong here to start at the second end with an 11. And another 11. She's in the groove right now.
Our volunteers, what happens is, obviously you got to show up here with at least 6 arrows in your quiver. You shoot those arrows, they get pulled, and then our runners volunteer, and they're able to bring those arrows back to those archers. Great shot.
Good answer for Laurie there back in the 11 ring. Cathy with a 33. 3-point swing in that in.
Smoking.
Depending on that asterisk there, it looks like we're going to have a 7-point advantage.
So there's a good look at what the judges are up to. So they have a nice little light just to give themselves a good perspective. If there's anything that is, you know, within question, then they're going to break out a magnifying glass. Now the key, Dan, is don't touch the arrow.
Yep.
Nobody can touch the arrow.
Yep, don't touch the arrow, don't touch the bail, don't touch the target. we're dealing with fractions of a millimeter on some of these arrows here, and want to make sure you get the right call.
Plus, there's a lot at stake. You know, you're hearing about the money, and that's great. Obviously, that's great. But I think more impactful for a lot of people is when you come into this hall and you see your face on one of these big banners that's hanging on either side, just off the middle of the shooting range. That's pretty impressive. And they're only able to get 4 years worth, so it's been rotating, but still.
It's awesome to see what Rob has built here, and every year, like, he's adding little pieces just to make the atmosphere and the ambiance something we don't see here normally in the United States.
Yeah.
Big breath there for Cathy. So it looks like we're at a 6-point advantage. That arrow did get upgraded for Laurie.
9. Oh, just right. Those are the heartbreakers, right? A couple millimeters away.
9.
11.
There's a great answer there for Laurie. Bringing back a couple points for her. Cathy trying to answer back after that first arrow.
9, 10 line.
It's really, really close.
I think it's 10. 10. All right, so currently, before we get the official scoring, it looks like it is a 4-point advantage, and that could move to a 5-point advantage. Here's Casey.
Confidence for next year.
That's awesome. All right, unofficially, it looks like Cathy will be moving on. How are you feeling? Are the nerves settling down?
No, not really.
Keep going up, that's okay.
All right, so when we get the official word, the victory is still going to go to Miller. However, no 12 called just yet. You know, I think it's a good point that was being made by Laurie. Like, you know, looking towards next year, I probably would have just hit the 12.
Yeah.
Just to kind of find out how I would react with the situation. Always something to be thinking about. There's only 33 points available per end, and math is easy. So it looks like 118 to 123 will be the official score for victory. So Miller with the win and will advance from 3rd place, now guaranteeing another round shoot off against our 2nd place qualifier. Is the Women's Masters Open Division. It's an amateur class. There are pro designations that'll be coming up tomorrow.
All right,
But
our next
here
competitor coming
is-
in is Sharon Totton from Stafford, Virginia. She made the USAT team and is our 2nd seed. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Sharon Totton coming in here. She shot a 607 in qualifying. And then total for her during the entire shoot-up was 848 with 33 11s.
And of course, making that USA Archery team is a big deal for us master shooters. It's a good accomplishment, especially when you get to run the stars and stripes.
So what does it take to make the USAT team, Greg?
Shoot. Basically, the way it works for USA Archery is, first and foremost, you have to be able to compete and do well at the nationals. If you're not there at nationals, then you're ineligible to be on the team. And then you shoot another couple of events, whether it's more of the, like 2 more of the outdoors, or you can shoot the USA Archery indoor and an outdoor. And the way it works is simple. You have your qualifying position, let's say 3rd, and your finishing position 1st. They add them together, divide by 2. And then for your qualifications, the lowest scores, like the lowest numbers accumulated, are the ones that are on the team. And in Masters, it's the top 3 in the nation. So it's an accomplishment.
It's quite an accomplishment for Sharon to be on the USAT team. looks like she's going to shoot second here. Since she's the higher seed, she gets to pick which platform she shoots from and which position she shoots in, first or second. And Cathy leads off with a 10.
Nice recovery on that little bobble on the draw. Cycled arrow. Looked like it was coming off the rest when she was drawing it back, but able to get it back together.
9 for Cathy. And looking here at Sharon's card, it looks like she's been shooting for 6 years, so really not all that long.
Yeah.
And to be able to make the USAT team after only shooting for 6 years, that's quite an accomplishment.
Dan, you bring up a good point. Even though we're looking at Masters Women's Open, you can be any age. And when I mean any age, I mean, I think maybe over the age of 4. But pretty much after that, any age to pick up archery. And people do.
And that's one of the great things. It's a lifetime sport. You can start young. You can shoot it until you can't stand up anymore.
Yep.
Throwing down the 11 there at the end for Sharon.
Mm-hmm. Let's get to Casey.
How are you doing today?
Nervous.
So far, so good. Settling in a little bit?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, tell me a little bit about the bow you're shooting today.
This is my Hoyt Invicta. I'm still rocking that. Waiting for my Concept X. And XL stabilizers. Strings are gas. Arrows are Easton 2712s.
Very nice. Well, you're shooting it well. I see Mr. Mel, you're back up here. Yeah. How is she doing so far?
She's doing good. We're just warming up her finger for that red button.
Oh, I see. Mel wants to see some 12s out here. All right. All right. After the first end, we have Cathy with 28, and Sharon is leading by 2 with 30.
I think Mel's getting an itchy trigger finger. I think he wants to push the button.
I think he does too. He's just going to lean over and be like, by the way, you're shooting a 12. We know the crowd loves it, that's for sure.
We're getting side eyes right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sharon leading off here, second end. She's up by 2 points. Didn't really like that one.
Mm.
Mel giving a little bit of coaching there between arrows.
11.
Cathy capitalizes and bringing it back to even.
There we go. That's the best thing about this tournament, isn't it? The swings are real with that extra point available and that extra 2 points, if you call it 12.
10.
A little wobbly there.
Mm-hmm.
Getting it settled back down, get in the middle.
9.
Giving a point back there to Sharon. There we go, back in the middle. Let's see if Cathy can answer.
10.
Good.
Let's give these ladies a round of applause.
Looks like unofficially we're 30-30 for this end. Sharon with a 2-point lead still.
All right. Now, obviously you shot well to get to the stage, but let's break it down. How did qualifications go and how did eliminations go this morning?
Qualifications were a little rough, but eliminations went really well.
Awesome. Well, obviously shot well to get here and shooting well here now. All right, after 2 ends, we still have a 2-point gap. Cathy with 58 and Sharon with 60.
And I think Casey actually kind of, with her question, brought up a really good point, and that is, you know, qualification is really important at this tournament, where some other, you know, disciplines that you shoot, it's kind of like, okay, I didn't do that well. But here, depending on the class and the amount of people entered, there's a cutoff. Like, there's a bunch of people that went home that didn't make elimination matches. So qualification, if it doesn't go well, but you're still in the elimination matches, that is like accomplishment number one.
Yeah, and if you look at the scores here, I mean, she was third after after qualifications, and she bumped herself up to second seeding because she shot so well in the elimination matches. So I mean, it could be a few $100 just coming in here and automatically being in that third is the worst you can do, as opposed to fourth is the best you can do, or the worst you can do. So Cathy starts off with 11 and Sharon with a 9, so we're tied up at 69 points.
9.
That's an opportunity for Sharon.
10.
Picked up a point on her. It's interesting to see that both these ladies are shooting feathers.
Oh, yeah.
Sharon looks like she's got a little floral design on her feathers there.
9.
All right, so Dan, let's talk about that for a second. As we look at talking about feathers versus, vane, which tend to be plastic. Why don't more people shoot feathers? Or like, why would you shoot feathers?
I think feathers will provide a little bit more steering, but they're easier to get damaged because they're so soft. Feather or vanes, plastic vanes, will provide good steering, but they're a little bit tougher. So with as much traveling as we do and boat cases getting gone through by TSA or whatever, I think most people these days tend to go with the plastic vanes.
Yeah, I think too. Some people that might have, that's
There's
a really
a floral
cool looking
design.
pattern. Yeah, it's a feather design. Yeah, like a peacock feather. Also, I think sometimes people have clearance issues, depending on, especially on maybe the recurve side of things, barebow side of things. But
feathers will move out of the way easier than a plastic vane will, but that'll also tear them up a little bit more too.
Yeah, it will. That's really, I think, the big deal is the durability when you're traveling. Even putting those things in and out of like an arrow tube, if you just let it flop to the bottom and hits the edge, it's like, oh, great, I just lost a vane. Okay, so we're getting to it.
Sharon's got a 1-point lead now. Oh, she didn't like that, but she still got the 11.
Sure did.
It's going to give her another point here.
So now 2-point advantage with 2 arrows to go for each archer.
10.
You get down here to these last arrows and the nerves start creeping in a little bit. You know you got an advantage.
10.
All right, so we got
That's one.
Cathy's was a 10-9 liner. That looks pretty solid.
Yeah, so I think we're sitting at 2 points.
10.
All right, so last arrow here for Sharon for the go to the gold medal.
11.
11. Strong finish there for Sharon.
And no doubt, doesn't really matter what happens with that 9 asterisks.
All right. We'll have our judges verify some scores.
Here's Casey.
Your first time up on the classic stage, what have you learned from this experience?
Try to keep your nerves not going crazy.
Definitely, with all the cameras, lights, everything, it's definitely a lot of pressure.
We're waiting for those official scores to come in.
All right. Sharon will be moving on. Congratulations. And also congratulations to Cathy Miller for 3rd place. She'll be taking home $350. Congratulations.
And Greg, she was talking about nerves. How do you handle your nerves when you're shooting in high pressure situations like this?
I don't think about it. You?
I'm just trying to live in the moment. You know you're going to be nervous when you're going into these things, and try to use that extra energy to your advantage instead of trying to suppress it.
I think the biggest thing too when you're in these situations, and it really touches on some of the things that some of these archers have said even today, is that the first time I was in a real situation where my nerves were crushing me, once I did it, I knew I could do it again.
She has won a bunch of big tournaments like Vegas, Reading, and NFAA Fields.
All right, so Christina Davis from Fort Orchard, Washington. That's the state.
Coming to here, she's moving Sharon over to the other stage.
Mm-hmm.
Got her coach Joel Turner in her box behind her.
NFA field champion, Reading champion, Vegas senior women's champion, just a versatile archer.
And looking at her qualifying score, 631. It's a monster score she threw up.
Yeah.
And I mean,
nobody was even in her draft.
Yeah, not even close. And then an 880 total, and the next closest was 848. So she was the class of the field. But in this format, it's 12 arrows.
12 arrows.
Anything can happen.
That's
Anybody
right.
can string together 12 really, really good arrows. So even though you've shot and been heads and tails above everybody the whole time, it just comes down to these 12 arrows at the end.
That's right. And you think that Sharon Totton is now relaxed. The nerves are starting to get out of her system. And anything can happen. But brace yourself. This could be quite the show put on by Christina Davis. And she will shoot first.
What a start.
I just saw Christina just take a deep breath and let it out. Okay. Definitely nerves.
Yep. Definitely see that bow moving around a little bit more than it did in the first arrow.
10.
Close one.
So we're tied up here at 20. There, she's back inside out.
And 11 to keep us tied.
9.
Just dropped it a little low.
Let's give these ladies a big
Let's get to
hand.
Casey Koffel.
Hi, Christina. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Welcome to the Classic stage. Tell me a little bit about the bow you're shooting today.
I have a Matthews TRX shooting spider bars, an XL sight. Strings are from Lancaster Archery in Washington, and I'm shooting an HBC release.
And what arrows?
I'm shooting gold tips with ACE.
Very nice. Well, let's see. After our first end, we have a 2-point difference. Sharon with 29 and Christina 31.
Dan, I'm going to tell you something. I absolutely love. We talked earlier about people that travel like you and I, taking your bow places and getting an opportunity to shoot. And when I travel to Washington, I make sure every time I have my bow because it is one of my favorite states to shoot in.
Yeah, they've got some amazing field courses there. And if you guys haven't shot field before, you need to do yourself a favor and go out and shoot some field when it's nice and warm out outside.
Totally agree. Get you out in the woods, walk from target to target. If you don't know what field archery is, just use the Google.
Another 11 in the middle. Seen Christina take a great big deep breath after that last arrow. Calming those nerves, slowing the heart rate down a little bit.
After that shot, she looked around to her coach, Joel Turner. Had a little,
Get a little nod.
mm-hmm. There you go.
There you go. Good answer back for Sharon there. Christine bearing down, see if she can shoot a 33 on this end.
Eleven, 11.
33, perfect end for her.
Wow.
So she's going to pick up possibly 4 points on this end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that looks like at rat. Oh,
That's too hard to call. See how the line's bent there, so that's where the judges got to make that. They can't look at where the line sits. They have to look at where the line's supposed to be.
mm-hmm.
So they're taking a good look at it. Look at it 3 angles. You look at it straight down the shaft, and you look at it from each side at 90 degrees to see if you think it's going to touch the line. And if you cannot 100% sure say it's out, they have to call it in.
Yep.
Now, Christina, notice you have a pretty recognizable guy.
While we're talking about arrows, let's take a look at the schedule. We've already been through our Senior Open, Women's Open, Masters Open. We're in the midst of our Women's Masters Open for this #1, for the champion. Then we have Youth Recurve, Youth Female Recurve, Youth Female Open coming on deck. And then we have the 2 big heavy hitters, Women's Barebow, and the end the day, the evening, Barebow.
Those are always so fun to watch because you never know what's going to happen on the end of those. Let's go back and watch the guys on this next end here.
Yeah, but I will say this with Barebow, especially when a 12's in play, and yes, last year someone hit a 12 in Barebow, and this place went bonkers. And keep in mind, if you're in the area, come on out and watch this thing. There's a bar in the back room, or the back of the room. So yeah, it's warm in here in the Spooky Nook Sports Complex. It is free to walk in the door and come in this area and cheer on your favorite archer.
And if you don't know a ton about archery, you can still come in here and watch and just start asking people. Everyone in archery loves to have new people come into it.
Oh yeah.
So you're never going to find someplace where you're not going to be able to find out what's going on with an archery tournament.
All right, our 3rd end of 4 for Women's Master Open, the big title, to be 2025 Lancaster Archery Classic champion.
Christina Davis here leading off with a 5-point lead going into the 3rd end.
10.
Hits a 10. Nice. Picks up a point on her. Down to a 4-point lead.
Sharon's husband Bill in attendance this weekend, cheering her on.
Again, you talk about classic looking form. Christine's got very, very elegant looking stance, and her release and everything looks very, very good. Another 10 there for her.
11.
And Sharon picks up another point. Starting to creep back into this a little bit.
Sure is. Now a 3-point gap. If you're Mel, her coach, are you telling her to think about that 12 yet?
11.
Ooh, that was good. You could see it come off the bow like it was going right where she wanted it to go. Great shot by our crew to bring you that one. More movement.
11, 10 wide.
That's close.
She said she shoot 27s.
That's 27 could catch that, so that would put her back at 3 points.
Ooh, but it broke the outside line a little bit.
Yeah, 27, you can break the entire outside line and still catch.
Yeah, especially if it's kicked down just a smidge. That's a technical term.
Oh, that's close.
Oh.
See what they give her here.
They keep you going. Awesome.
Taking a close look.
Now,
Those look
Joel,
pretty
I wanna shout
pretty
you out a
solid
little bit.
there.
I hear you're
Oh,
doing
they
a
got it.
seminar the Monday after the Classic. What do people attending that seminar expect to see, expect to hear?
Life-changing information.
You hear that, folks? Oh, I'm excited about it. I might sign up last minute. Who knows?
So you're saying that got upgraded to an 11,
Yeah.
huh?
Yep, so pulled back 2 points there. So
Okay.
it's back within reach now. Going into the last end, 3 points.
Plus, she just showed Christina what she's got, too. All right.
3
So-
points, 3 arrows.
So now, I think it's Sharon who can put some pressure on. I mean, you're talking about a 32-point difference. When you added up all the points that were done in qualification and elimination matches, Christina Davis had 32 points more accumulated over Sharon Totton. But this is what these final matches are all about. You're looking at 95 to 92, and you may think that's a huge gap, but in the Women's Masters Open category, anything's possible. With the 11 ring in play, and then you add the possibility of the 12. So here we go. Is anybody going to go for the 12 ring? We don't know yet. But Davis is going to kick us off.
So Christina's kind of got the driver's seat right now. If she can shoot 3 11s, it's over. Doesn't matter. But she's still got to shoot those 3 11s.
That's right.
10.
Oh, okay.
Sharon didn't like that one.
Yep. Now you start to feel like Davis getting on the gas pedal, putting a little bit more pressure on, starting to break that draft.
Looks like Joel is willing her on behind her there.
Mm-hmm. He's got the thoughtful pose, just getting after that goatee.
9.
Yeah, she knew on the release. We can see it on her face.
All right, so that's a 5 points right now with 2 arrows to go.
Yep, Sharon definitely be going for that 12 button.
There she hits it.
There it is.
She want it on or she want it off? Which one is it? Come on, Sharon.
Even Christina's pulling for her. This place gonna go bananas if she nails this.
9.
Still a good laugh. She was going for it.
That was great to see those guys up there. Let's go over to Casey and see what she has to say.
Good job going for that 12. Came just short, but how do you feel? What will you take away from this?
You know, I am just so honored to be here to make this whole process and to make it this far in the process. I am so happy.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on second place. You'll be taking home $550. Let's give her a hand.
Yeah. Oh,
And Christina, congratulations on first place. How are you feeling?
Great. This is awesome.
Are you happy with how you did? You should be.
Very much so.
Well, congratulations. For first place, you'll be taking home $1,000. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Well, Greg, Vegas senior champion, Reading champion, NFA field champion. Now she gets to add Lancaster Classic champion.
Unbelievable shooting. What a match we have had. The 2025 Lancaster Archery Classic here from the Spooky Nook Sports Complex in Manheim, Pennsylvania. The shoot-up finals continue as we take a look at spectacular matches we've had so far. Plenty on deck coming after this.